All right, folks, here we are. Here we are. Good evening. Live here on our Monday Motivational Power Talk. I don't know who's going to come in first, but I'm betting we probably get Diane Rozier or Denise George. Hope everyone is doing well. Won't keep you tonight, but I will talk about something that's very, very good, inspiring, and some information that most people need to know to have success in their business and in their personal life. So we getting ready to get started with that, folks. Here we go. If it's going to be, it's up to me to fulfill my dreams and possibilities with dedication and motivation to inspire thousands from all nations. When times are tough and breaks you down, just smile with toughness and rebuild from the ground. During tough times, adversity is a lot. Just remember, time flies, but you are the pilot. Good evening, folks. Jay Lee here. This is our Monday Motivational Power Talk. We do this every Monday at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And you are seeing this from my business page, the Jay Lee Speaks business page. So make sure you like my business page, ladies and gentlemen, because this is where this is going to be taking place, okay? Now, I do share this on my personal page, but it's better to get it quicker because we start at 9 p.m. sharp each and every Monday on this page. Good to see you, Nisa Harper. Good evening. Good evening. Thank you for joining in. Thank you for joining. I see you. I see you. So, folks, a couple of announcements I want to make. First, we're still working out the details of the Tampa Bay Wealth Summit scheduled for January 2018. Hopefully we don't have to change the date, but it looks like everything is starting to go into the right direction for that time, for that date, for that month. It's going to be on fire, folks. Just make sure you go to my other business page, WAN Global. That is WAN Global LLC. Go to that business page on Facebook and make sure you click like on that page. All right. Another announcement is April the 13th. Friday the 13th in April, I will be honored and be awarded with the People of Distinction Humanitarian Award. I will be honored and be given that award. I have a short speech I will make as well at that event. It's going to take place down here in St. Pete, Florida. So those of you who would like to attend, the tickets I think are like $50. Tickets for that event. It's going to be nice, extravagant. It's going to be very high end. Event is going to be right down here in St. Pete, Florida. The details to that is on an event page that I created some time ago because the date has been changed from the 13th of October to the 13th of April, simply because they didn't want to be doing this event in the hurricane season. So it had to get changed because of that reason, because Hurricane Irma kind of knocked everything off schedule. So that is April the 13th, folks. If you want to know more about that, make sure you inbox me and I will be sure to get that information out to you. All right, let's get started, folks, on our Monday Motivational Power Talk. What I want to discuss with you this evening are 5 steps to a great comeback. Okay, I'm going to talk about 5 steps to a great comeback. Now, how many of you would like to make a great comeback from something that you have failed in? Come on, folks, say I, okay? How many of you would like to make a great comeback to something you have failed in or something that someone told you that you would fail in? All right, now we're gonna go through these very, very quick. I'm not gonna rush through them, so I'm gonna make sure you get time to take some notes as I go through these. I see we just had someone else to join me. I don't know who that is yet, but thank you for joining in with us. 5 steps to a great comeback. And these steps make perfect sense, folks. And as I tell you these steps, it's going to start to resonate in you. I'm on a hard wire, Nisa Harper, so I don't know why it will break up. I'm hardwired, so I'm actually hardwired into the internet. I'm not like before when I was using our phone walking around and we would have breakups depending on where I am. But right now I'm actually hardwired. So see if you can move around a little bit and see if it will clear up. But as of right now, it's looking perfect on my end. Thank you for reminding me of that. But yeah, it looks pretty perfect on my end. And I do see it on my backup screen. I do see a freeze up there, but no, it's look like it's moving. So looking pretty good. But folks, let me go ahead and get started. Lisa Harper, just hang in there with me. It'll clear up. All right. 5 steps to a great comeback. As I discuss these steps, folks, and there's only 5, and these 5 will take you far and beyond your imagination. I can promise you that. I assure you that. So, but as I speak them, and you let them sit with you, you're going to be like, oh, wow, this made perfect sense in this particular situation. Because I'm telling you, as I came up with these, is pretty much what I had to go through when I was homeless just 3 years ago. Okay, not far from now, just homeless 3 years ago. And I had to make that comeback. I did not let my circumstance determine my future. Okay, so let's go through these 5 steps, folks. All right. Thank you. Thank you. Hang in there with me. Appreciate it. Appreciate it. All right. Let me look at my backup page. Okay, I do see. Well, it looks like it's moving. Looks like it's moving. All right. Let's start with number 1. First step. 1 out of 5. First out of 5 to a 5 steps to a great comeback. Number 1 is to become a problem solver. Good evening, Denise George. Thank you for joining in. Denise George just came on in. Okay, we're going number 5. Number 1, become a problem solver. Become a problem solver. That's number 1. Now, let me talk a little bit about number 1. The reason why you failed in the first place, or the reason why you had a setback, is because a problem arrived, right? Now, you got to understand what a problem is. Every problem, write this down. Every problem has a purpose, and every purpose has a message. If you connect that message to your mission, the problem will go away. I'm going to repeat that. Every problem has a purpose, and every purpose has a message. If you connect that message to your mission, the problem goes away. So you have to become a problem solver. So in a nutshell, if you're going to solve a problem, you must first have a mission, folks, because the mission is almost your why. You know, your why is to be very strong. So when you have a mission in life, when you have a mission in business, whatever problem comes up, your mission is supposed to get rid of the problem. If your mission is not getting rid of the problem, then you have to focus and you have to reshape your mission, or you might have to change your mission statement. Okay, your mission has to be strong. It has to be strong. Just like you have to have a strong why, you got to have a strong mission, folks. So your mission is your statement. Plant the flag. Plant your mission stamp. Your stamp. Put a stamp on what you're doing with your mission statement. Okay, and it got to be strong. It's like planting a flag in a territory where you just had battle. Plant it. Stand still on it. Defend it. Put your bootstraps to the ground and forward. March. Move forward, folks, because it's going to take hard work to achieve your dreams, goals, and aspirations. You're going to face some adversity. Those adversities will be the problems that you're going to endure throughout your journey. So you have to become a problem solver. People who are successful in the world, folks, the most successful people in the world are problem solvers. I'm not talking about those who got rich simply because they, listen, you got people who've gotten rich out here by getting permission to take pictures in front of somebody's private jet and posted it on social media and making other people think that they own the jet. And then they come up with $2,000-$3,000 courses and sell them online, and everybody think they can take those courses and become rich because these persons showed that they were They fake that they were rich by taking pictures in front of somebody's jet and Lamborghini and renting this stuff. You know what I'm saying? Though I'm not talking about those people. They ain't solved nothing. I'm talking about people who are problem solvers, world changers, folks. The people who put in the grit to make things happen, not only for themselves and for their family, but for their community and for their region. So you gotta become a problem solver. That makes sense? Great. Problem solver. That's number one. You have to become a problem solver. Step two. You can see how these all make sense. Step two in the 5 steps to a great comeback. Step two is learn from your failures. Learn from your failures. Let's take the word fail, F-A-I-L. What is the acronym for that? What does fail stand for? In our world of entrepreneurship, in our world of motivation, our world of inspiration and success, self-help, the word fail means first attempt in learning. Folks, before you can succeed in anything, you have to learn it first. You're not just going to go out there right off the bat and just say, oh man, I just found instant success. You got to learn. That instant success is not major success, folks. That's just a step in the right direction if you haven't failed yet. See, there's a saying that goes, if you haven't failed, because you haven't tried. Okay, Denise George, if you haven't failed, it's because you haven't tried. First attempt in learning. So you have to learn from your failures. Now, if you're failing and failing and failing, and you're not learning anything, then guess what? Keep on failing until you do learn. You see, folks, you got to be willing to do something over and over and over again until you master it. You see, if you take a look at a team that wins the Super Bowl, a basketball team that wins the world championship in basketball, a soccer team that wins the World Cup, the soccer team that wins the Stanley Cup, guess what? They practice something that they haven't mastered. And they practice it over and over and over and over again, and they keep failing at it. The reason why they practice it over and over and over again is not just because they're trying to master it only, but they're trying to get over the failures of executing the plays that makes them champions. So you got to fail over and over and over again. If you're not learning from the failures, then you have to keep failing until you do learn from it. And as you learn from the failures, you do it differently each time. And if you do it differently each time and you fail at it again, guess what? Keep doing it until you figure out the right formula. Thomas Edison failed 1,000 times before he was able to turn the lights on. And when he was interviewed, they asked him, how did he fail 1,000 times? You know what he said? No, I didn't fail 1,000 times. I just found 1,000 ways that it did not work. So failure, folks, is important. It's the vitamin to your success. All right. Dr. Seuss was turned down 27 times. Dr. Seuss from Cat in the Hat. Dr. Seuss was turned down by 27 publishers. What if he would have given up? He didn't give up, right? Look at his books today. Billions sold worldwide. Dr. Seuss, one of the best authors known to man right now. At least the most well-known authors, right? So you got to learn from your failures. And as he failed, he went to the next publisher. Failed. He changed up. He learned from it and went and approached a different publisher with a different approach. And he kept failing until he landed his contract with a publisher. Isn't that amazing, folks? So you have to learn from your failures, folks. If you're not learning from your failures, you got to keep doing it. And you're not going to get to the next level until you learn from the failures. All right. Step number 3. You ready for step number 3? Talking about the 5 steps to a great comeback. Step number 3 is stay away from negative people and environments. I can't stress that enough. I'm going to say that again. Stay away from negative people and environments. Some of your failures, folks, come from people telling you you can't do something and you believe them. See, the most struggles that you're going to have in achieving something is going to come from other people not wanting you to do it. Write that down. The most struggles you're going to receive, the most struggles you're going to go through, is other people not wanting you to do it. They don't want you to win. They want you to fail because they are failures. They don't want you to win because they're not winning. See, they'll put all of their energy and time into hoping you fail, that they're not putting any time in their own success. And because of that, they become crabs trying to pull you down in the barrel. And it's not like they're trying to climb out the barrel. They're just trying to pull you down. They don't want to get out of the barrel themselves. But they want you to stay in the barrel because they're lonely in the barrel. They want the company in the barrel. You got to get out of the barrel. When they try to pull you down, you step on their head and boost yourself up and get out the barrel. But you got to stay away from negative people and environments. What I mean by environments, I'm talking about your household. I'm talking about your job. Because guess what happens, folks? I've run into people who say they can't leave because they don't have the money to leave, who they with, or their spouse or their boyfriends or something. They don't have the money to leave to get out of the situation, or they own a job and it's hard for them to get another job. Folks, the reason, a better way to get out of these environments, these negative environments, and away from negative people, is to keep raising the value on yourself. See, when you raise the value on yourself, if you're in a negative environment on your job, you can get another job by raising the value on yourself. See, when you're good at what you do, the marketplace will seek you out. So you don't want to be in a position where you can't afford to get out of the situation. See, if you can't afford to get out of the situation, that should be the reason why you should get out of it. Right? Raise the value on yourself. Write this down. If you raise the bar, you will lose the losers. If you lower the bar, you will lose the winners. So you got to keep raising the bar on yourself. Keep increasing your value, because as you increase your value, you increase your self-worth. And as you increase your self-worth, you will increase your net worth. So that's step number 3. You have to stay away from negative people and environment. Now, everybody isn't negative on purpose. There are people who are suffering from possibility blindness. That's a term used by Les Brown a lot. They're suffering from possibility blindness. What do I mean by that? Oh, baby, don't try this. Don't do this because you know your cousin tried it and it didn't work for them. If I were you, I would keep your job. It's giving you a steady paycheck. Don't try this business thing because you might end up homeless. You might end up on the side of the road somewhere. Don't try it, you know. Those are people that are suffering from possibility blindness. Doesn't mean that they're being negative. They mean well, but you got to get away from that too. Because what happens is, folks, if you hear it enough time, you will start to believe it. It will start to manifest and it will start to marinate in your mindset. And as it marinating in your mindset, your body will release that vibration, and that vibration will go out into the universe and grab the energy that matches the vibration, and it comes right back to you, and you will find yourself not doing anything. So you got to get away from negative people and negative environments, okay? Let's go to number 4. Number 4 is important because it follows right behind number 3. Because number 3 tells you to get away from negative people and negative environments. Guess what number 4 is, folks? Number 4, step number 4 is believe in yourself when no one else will. Believe in yourself when no one else will. This is important. You have a lot of people doing something because they want to do it. They have dreams, they have aspirations. They say, man, they have big goals. I want to do this, I want to do that. I want to get started. But they don't really believe in themselves. That's why most people quit. They flunk out because their belief system is very, very shallow. It's very low. It's very thin. Anybody can kick the doors down of their belief system. But you got to believe in yourself. I was listening to Dr. Dennis Kimbrough speak one time, and he mentioned little Sammy in the 3rd grade who believed in himself. Little Sammy in the 3rd grade was drawing a picture, and a teacher walks up to Sammy and says, Sammy, what are you drawing? Sammy says, I'm drawing a picture of God. The teacher says, well, Sammy, no one knows what God looked like. Sammy said they will in a minute. So you got to believe in yourself, folks, when no one else will. Let's talk about, I talked earlier last week, I talked about Cliff Young, of the Cliff Young Shuffle, 61-year-old marathon winner who won the marathon at 61 years old. And how did he win? He believed in himself. All he wanted to do was race. He believed that he will win the race, folks. That's all he wanted to do is finish it. And he was never told that while racing, you have to run 18 hours and sleep 6 hours. No one told him that. They said, oh man, what are you doing here? I just want to race. I had nothing on my schedule, so I want to race. So they let him in the race, but they did not tell him he run 18 hours and sleep 6 hours. So what happens? While everyone else took their 6 hours sleep, Cliff Young kept running. 61 years old. See, there were no limitations to him because he didn't place them on himself. And there was no one else there to tell him what his limitations were. But he ran and ran and ran for 5.5 days without sleep. And what happens? He beat the race. And not only he beat the race, but he broke the record by 12 hours. Everybody else in their 20s, 30s, got their little Adidas apparel on, Nike, Puma, running and everything like that. And all he had was a raincoat, a cap, and rubber rain boots. That's all he had. And he won the race. And he ran like, make sure you Google Cliff Young Shuffle, Cliff Young Shuffle to see how he actually ran. He didn't run fast, he just, that's all he did. So folks, believe in yourself when no one else will. We got 4 more minutes and I'm almost done. We right on point. I want to talk about staying on number 4 for a second. There's another story about 2 young boys playing on ice. And one of the young boys fell through in the ice and went underwater. The other young boy needed to get the ambulance. So somebody nearby happened to call the ambulance or the fire department. But before they came, the other young boy, who was 12 years old, wanted to save his friend. So he was able to find a huge branch up high in a tree. And he was able to break that branch off. Branch was about this thick. Break off the branch. Get back to the ice. Put the branch in the water and pull his friend out of the ice water. By the time the fire department gets there, everybody was amazed at the work this young man did at 12 years old to pull his friend out of the water with a huge branch. So one of the firemen asked, young man, how did you do it? And one bystander said, I can tell you how he did it. And they said, how? The bystander said, he did it because there was no one else here to tell him that he couldn't do it. So believe in yourself, folks, when no one else will. So let's go to number 5. Number 5 is highly important. That's the most critical. That's why it's number 5. That's last but not least. You guys ready for number 5? Here's number 5. Number 5 is never, ever, ever quit. Never, ever, ever quit. Write that down. Put it in the comments. Never, ever, ever quit. Never, ever, ever quit. It's highly important, folks. See, people start to experience the other 4 steps and they quit. You see, you can't quit. Remember, you got to become a problem solver. In order for you to become a problem solver, you have to fail. That's number 2. You got to learn from your failures, to learn from to learn to fix your problems. And in order for you to fail, learn from your failures, you got to stay away from negative people because they won't let you fail in peace. As soon as you fail, they're going to tell you, oh, don't do it. It's not going to work, right? So going into number 4, you can stay away from negative and cynical people so that you can, number 4, believe in yourself when no one else will. And you have no distraction of nobody telling you that you can't do something. Okay, so then it leads to number 5. After all of that, you just don't quit. Never, ever, ever quit. That's right, Lisa Harper. So, folks, there's a story about a man pumping well in the water. And in that well, it seemed it was kind of dry, but the water was there. And he kept pumping and he kept pumping and he kept pumping and he kept pumping and kept pumping and kept pumping. He was pumping for hours and water would not come out of his well. Eventually, guess what happened? He says no water's going to come out of his well. He pumped it for the very last time. As a matter of fact, he pumped it for the last 5 times. No water came out. He quit. He dehydrated. He died. Suddenly, one small child playing outside walks up and sees his well. Pumped the well one time. And it gushed out with water. And all the time, the other man who died was pumping his well. He was bringing water up to the surface. But he quit too soon. And he lost his life. Suddenly, a kid came up, pumped it just that one time. From all the times the other person, the man pumped it. The kid pumped it one time and got all the water he could imagine he could receive. Water just gushed out all over the ground. So you can't never quit, folks. You never know how close you are to your goals, dreams, and aspirations until you quit. You got to keep going. You got to keep pushing forward. Okay, so let me just run through these 5 steps to a great comeback. Number 1 was become a problem solver. Number 2, learn from your failures. Number 3, stay away from negative people and environments. Number 4, believe in yourself when no one else will. And number 5, never, ever, ever quit. Thank you for joining us this evening, ladies and gentlemen. Please make note of it. Hope you can. This video is going to go out on YouTube also. So actually, I got to review the video before putting it out on YouTube because we don't want to make sure it has good quality to be out there. Okay. So, folks, I will see you guys 10 a.m. tomorrow morning. I will be speaking to you again from my personal page. So until then, I want you to do me one big favor. First, share this video. Those of you who've been here since the beginning, share it. Those of you who came in later, watch it again and share it, okay? So until then, I want you to sing like no one can hear you, dance like no one can see you, love like you've never been hurt, and live like it's heaven on earth. I'm Jay Lee. I love you, and the world needs you. Peace and blessings, ladies and gentlemen. Have a glorious day. And I am going to go downtown St. Pete and watch some live music. So the Sean Brown Band is at Ruby's Expert tonight. So I'm going to go down there and take a look at Sean Brown Band. And have a great evening, folks. Talk to you guys very soon.